Hi there, my little demons and divas. It is I, Isa, aka the Demon Diva, NYC Demon Diva, WWE Demon Diva, Isa Yankee Diva. You get the point, and I am so excited to be making this video. I have shared with you guys on my streams and I think on Twitter a couple of times how much I am a big fan of unsolved mysteries, paranormal activities, true crime, serial killers. And I decided to just start this new series where I just share some histories, like unsolved mysteries or serial killer stories behind some of the most famous Puerto Rican stories. So about my background and like about where I come from. And I'm just super excited to just talk about one of the most infamous serial killers in Puerto Rican history. But before I get started, guys, please make sure to go follow me on social media at NYC Demon Diva. The rest of my social media, it is linked on the description below. And please let me give a special shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that is Popl. Obviously, with the subject matter of this video, we will most likely not be able to monetize it. So thank you so much for Popl for sponsoring this video. As I share with you guys, Popl is pretty much a business card on the go. You just bump somebody else's phone, and when that pop-up come up, they will have all of your social media. You guys can see it. All right. They will have all of your social media info, your Instagram, so you don't have to like sit there and go, okay, subscribe to my YouTube. This is the link. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. No, all of that is right there, and all you have to do is click on it directly, and it takes them straight to your channel, to your Instagram, to your Twitter. It's literally a business card on the go, guys. And I want to thank Popl for sponsoring this video. If you guys purchase Popl using my link, you will get 20% off and a shout out on my next video. So make sure you guys go check it out. And thanks again, Popl, for sponsoring this video. So I am literally geeking out because I don't think that you guys understand how much time I spend on YouTube watching true crimes, videos, paranormal videos, all of that, serial killers. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be admitting how much I love that, but I actually really, really love all of that kind of stuff. And there's so many stories about like crimes and paranormals and all that in Puerto Rico. But the most infamous one that I remember, and I think I was so young when this guy met his demise. And I remember like it was yesterday, and the name is still brought up in pop culture, in songs and everything. And the subject that we are speaking about today is the infamous Toño Bicicleta, which clearly translates to actually, literally speaking, it translates to Anthony Bicycle. But Toño Bicicleta was such an infamous name. And I feel like most people my age, actually, I think that a lot of people that are from Puerto Rico and not from Puerto Rico know exactly who Toño Bicicleta was. But if you're my age and you grew up in Puerto Rico, 1000%, I know that you know exactly who I'm talking about. Very famous, made multiple appearances in the infamous El Vocero newspaper. And I am so excited to get you guys a little recap, a little. I'm just gonna share his resume with you guys, his background, his resume, criminal resume, and what happened to Toño Bicicleta. And if you guys like these videos, make sure to leave me a like, let me know in the comments, and I have so many more stories. Puerto Rico is full of crazy stories, and we can do paranormal, we can do unsolved mysteries. I have it all. So I'm super excited. I know I talk about this a lot on my streams, and I think it's just an interesting topic. So I have so much research, guys. And yeah, I did the old school research on Toño Bicicleta, okay? So buckle up and let's get started. Francisco Garcia Lopez. Francisco Garcia Lopez, also known as Toño Bicicleta, was born on July 19th of 19 43. Some sources claim that he was born in Yauco, others say Maricao, others say he was born in Lares. It's just like his entire legacy. We'll never know what the truth actually is in regards to his birthplace. I searched around the web and there's so many places, like there's so many sources claiming that he was born in different places. It's very, you cannot tell which one is actually telling the truth, but that is his background. There is also different stories. This guy is such a mystery because there's also multiple stories about how he became known as Toño Bicicleta. It has nothing to do with his criminal record. This came before that. Some people claim that he was known as Toño Bicicleta because of his ways of getting around town. It was in an old bicycle, while other sources claim that he became known as Toño Bicicleta because he stole a bike very early in his young years. So maybe his first crime committed, I don't know, but I could not find the actual, like, how he became that. But I didn't even know this guy's real name until I started researching for this video. To me, he was always Toño Bicicleta. It was just his name, it was his nickname, it's what everybody knows him for. But yeah, there's no way of finding out how he became Toño Bicicleta. There's just two different stories to the nickname. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think it was because he got around town in a bike, or do you think it was because he stole a bike? I think he stole a bike because the guy was a very, very cold, heartless criminal. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like 5 years old, stealing his little friend's bike. Anyway, so he had 3 kids with his first wife. Her name was Antonia Rivera, and he had Francisco, Maria, and Carmen, one boy and 2 girls. In 1968, this is when we have the first crime that Toño Bicicleta committed. In 1968, Toño Bicicleta was sentenced to 185 years in prison for murdering his then wife, Gloria Soto, with a machete, guys. You're going to learn that this was his weapon of choice. But yeah, 185 years, that is his first known crime that I can find. And he murdered his wife with a machete at that time. And he escaped from prison just 2 years later. So the one thing that you're going to learn about Toño Bicicleta is that he was an escape artist. He could escape prison all the time. He escaped prison a lot. So that's probably what brought in the most fame in Puerto Rico, was just that he kept escaping every time they would catch him. In 1974, he was captured in Bayamon. I believe a civilian called it in, recognized him, and the police captured him and arrested him, and he was sent to a prison in Sabana, called Sabana Hoyos in Arecibo. I don't think that prison is not longer up and running, but that is the prison that he was sentenced to. However, he managed to escape in 1981. I'm telling you, this guy could not be tied down, so he could not be incarcerated. In 1984, Toño Bicicleta broke in the house of then the mayor of Maricao. Okay, this guy was a savage. Gilberto Perez. He stole some silver coins from the mayor, also stole a machete, flashlight, food, and a weapon, a gun, a handgun. So Toño Bicicleta just became such a known person in Puerto Rico because escaping prison, all of the crimes that he committed, and he continued to commit crimes. He was not shy about it. He continued to commit crimes, multiple raping, kidnapping, and murdering multiple victims. One of his victims, Olga Iris, was actually kidnapped by him on more than one occasion. She actually managed to get away on a weird encounter he had with the police where he wasn't caught, but it allowed her to get away. But then he actually kidnapped her again, threatening to kill her father if she didn't comply, so she had to stay with him. It is also claimed that he became some sort of scapegoat for Puerto Rican authorities. Basically, ended up getting blamed for a lot of crimes that he might have not committed, but just because he was out there, he's committing all these crimes, it was very easy for the government to pin crimes on him that we'll never know if they were truly committed by him or not. So that's actually a fact that made me wonder, like all these crimes that I'm reading supposedly he committed, but I wonder how many he got blamed for that he didn't commit, or how many are not in the research that they think that he did but cannot prove it. I thought that was interesting fact. um in 1987, Toño Bicicleta killed his stepfather and tried to burn his body. This guy just had no mercy for anyone. Like he was out there. Okay, this is serial killer material. His mother was in the scene, but she was actually able to escape the scene. And then he also went on to murder his uncle. So in 1988, he killed Luis Rodriguez and kidnapped his 14-year-old girlfriend, who ended up staying with him for 8 years. Um, I can't find if she was with him voluntarily or if he was threatening him, but she was with him until the time that Toño Bicicleta met his demise, which happened in 1995, the morning of November 29th of 1955. Toño Bicicleta was working in a coffee plantation in Lares, Puerto Rico, and the police arrived around 7 a.m. I believe he was recognized. He tried he tried to attack the police with, you guessed it, a machete. So the police had to shoot him, and he was shot in the genitals. Ouch, Toño. Um, but allegedly, he did not die right away. Toño Bicicleta died because the police started to kick him and mock him, and he bled to death. Allegedly, right? That's what I found in the internet, and it says that that's what happened to him. At the time of his death, Toño Bicicleta was described to be only 5'2". Maybe that's how he was able to escape prison, because he was so little. He was 5'2" and 130 pounds, so he probably fit, like he could fit through all these holes. That's probably why he was able to escape prison so easily, because it sounds like he was quite petite. 5'2" and only 130 pounds. His funeral was held in Lares, and it was actually a super infamous funeral. Like a lot of people attended his funeral. He became some kind of pop culture icon. Like I said, I remember it. I remember him dying. Thousands of people attended his funeral. He kind of became sort of a legend in Puerto Rico, even though he was a serial killer and an extremely horrible person. There have been multiple documentaries, videos, movies, films, and books written about Toño Bicicleta throughout Puerto Rican history. Yeah, it is alleged that 3,000 people attended his funeral, and hundreds of people drove their four-wheelers to the spot where he was actually, where the police gunned him down. Not funny thing, but it is actually known that during the elections, people cast in ballots for Toño Bicicleta in their fucking votes. They will vote for Toño Bicicleta. It is worth noting that when I spoke to my dad about creating this video, I went ahead and asked his opinion about Toño Bicicleta, and the first thing he brought up was that he felt that Toño was blamed for a lot of crimes that he didn't commit. My dad's opinion, who was around when this was all a big deal, was that he was hiding in weird little shacks in the country. How many people was he going to kill there? In addition to that, a lot of the Puerto Rican people thought that Toño was in fact not committing all the crimes that the police were saying he was committing. Therefore, they saw him as an scapegoat for the police, meaning they didn't see him as the threat that he was or wasn't. My dad said that Toño went through a jury and was found guilty of his very first crime, but all the other crimes that were claimed he committed, they didn't have any evidence against him, and he was never able to stand trial as he was killed when he was found. So in addition to that, my dad told me there used to be an interview, which I tried to find, but I could not find it, about a man who actually gave him a ride, and he knew who he was picking up. Toño Bicicleta was hitchhiking, this guy gave him a ride and described him as a nice man. Never felt threatened by him or anything. So I just wanted to add that in. Sorry for the voiceover, but I talked to my dad after I recorded the video, and I found all of this super interesting. Maybe for the next video, I'll bring in my dad and ask him to be in the video. ultimately, that is what I'm able to find. This happened so long ago. Some people consider him a legend. His last kidnapping victim ended up basically falling in love with him. That's why she stayed with him for 8 years, even though he shot his boyfriend right in front of her, which is known for certain victims. Like, is actually an issue that some victims have. They end up falling or staying with their kidnappers and accuse, like, the people that are assaulting them. um so to some people he's like a folk legend, like he's a little legend on the island. But I'm pretty sure that when they finally capture him and gun him down, at that particular point, people had to, like, just feel at ease, right? It is like there's it has been said that he murdered 4 of his neighbors just for crossing him. Like, he was a serial killer, rapist, and kidnapper. And it doesn't sound like he had any mercy. And the fact that he used a machete as his weapon of choice just goes to show you that he really wanted to inflict pain on his victims. So I just wanted to bring you guys the story of serial killer of Puerto Rico known as Toño Bicicleta, a legend for all the wrong reasons. I still want to know how he escaped prison that many times. But that is it. Do you guys know about the Toño Bicicleta history? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know if you like this series, if you want me to continue bringing you something different. I did say that I wanted to start talking about other things that I enjoy on my channel. I incorporated baseball, vlogs, and true crimes, paranormal, and all that is the last piece of the puzzle based on the things that I love and enjoy watching. And I know so many histories thanks to my parents and growing up in the island. So I really want to focus my true crime stories in Puerto Rico, based off Puerto Rican stories. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Have you heard of Toño Bicicleta before? What do you guys think of the video? Let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, adios. Mwah.
Yeah, demon diva, quite the screamer. Cursing, tease ya, hurting, please ya. Spot her out in any of y'all arena. Break the meter, get way too excited, watch her boot up. If the lady could, she get lady wood until you know who we can suit up. I get